Hi, I am Claire, and this is a craftsman style house in The Sims 4. So, I wanted to make a house that was kind of autumn inspired, but I did want to make it kind of have a Halloween party inspired because this video is going out on the 31st. Happy Halloween to those who are celebrating, and so I wanted to make a house that would be for a Halloween party. These families really into Halloween. They have a giant skeleton in their backyard or in their front yard. They have like graveyards in their front yard. They just really love this time of year. I personally don't I like Halloween, but I'm not like putting a giant skeleton in my parents' front yard type of person. And so I wanted to do that in The Sims, and like I said, I'm not really into that, but I know there's a lot of people who are, and I just wanted to make a house kind of inspired by like the giant skeleton, a giant blow up. I wanted to use a lot of items from the spooky pack, and I wanted to use the couches specifically because they looked like they could have just put like a little cloth over it, and they could have just used these chairs for like normal stuff, but since there's going to be a Halloween party, they have like these little cloths to hide the like normal of it. It's a little ghost face. And I do add a little table piece in the front yard. I do size it up, and I felt like it could be like a little blow up, and so we are just going to be going and into the backyard. I kind of go from front to back a lot just because I was just kind of in like a yard zone, and then we get into the interior of the house. And so I just really wanted this area to feel like this is where like the party would happen, and then the like front yard is like for like the trick-or-treaters to come and hang out at, just grab a piece of candy and be on their way. I do add the patchy scarecrow. It helps you with your gardening skills. It may be a little scary because it just kind of pops out of its position, but I did want to add gardening beds for that reason, and so we are just going to be adding some swing sets. This is a family home for 4 Sims and 1 to 2 pets. So if you want pets, you can have a cat or a dog. I didn't add a litter box, but I'm sure you can find space if you would want a cat. And so we are now on the interior of this space, and I wanted to add these curtains because, like I said, there's probably a party in the backyard, but I feel like these curtains could kind of have like the same like effect, like, oh yeah, our house is like fully decorated inside, but please don't go inside. And so we are just going to be working on a little entryway. I did want to add these spiders because I thought it looked kind of cool. You can like still see the design of like the spiders on the other side. And I do close off the kitchen since I was thinking that this would be a Halloween party going on. Maybe there's been a lot of cooking and it was a bit of a mess, and they just kind of the homeowners don't really want to like show that to all their guests. Like, oh yeah, we're neat people, we clean up after ourselves, but maybe there's actually like a big mess going on, and I didn't design that to be happen, but I was just kind of like thinking that's like probably what a person that hosts a lot of parties would want. I don't host a lot of parties. I'm an introvert, and so we are just going to be adding some more cabinet space. I do forget to add a refrigerator, and so we do come back to add a refrigerator. And you might be wondering what exactly I am doing with the 2 trash cans. I just wanted to make the smaller one look like it was like a trash bag inside of the bigger one. And so here are the pet bowls. Again, I'm not sure if it would be a cat or a dog. I'll just let you decide that. And I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to put on this wall, but I just kind of popped up. It took me a while to find this hutch. I do use some items from the Jungle Adventure Pack, and so I wanted to kind of tie that jungle adventure into the kitchen, and so I used the bar stools, I used this hutch. I feel like it turned out pretty well. This kitchen is kind of small, but I feel like it still kind of fits the space, still kind of works with what we have, and so we are just going to be adding some pumpkins on the hutch and going to be just making this feel very fall vibes. And I didn't want to put those pumpkins on the counters, just so there's space for your Sims to prepare food. And I do add these little wall decorations that look like little leaves, and I thought that just kind of brought in some more of that fall vibe. And so we are just going to be going with just these leaves, but I do find some like door ornaments or like things that other like fall items I put on walls, but I do put them on the doors. And so we are now just going to be decorating the cabinets and the counters. Again, I was trying to make sure there's room for your Sims to prep, and I hope I did. I might have gone a little crazy, but I'm sure there is one empty counter. And now we are going to be going and adding into the living room. I wanted there to be a fireplace because there's a pretty big prominent chimney on the exterior of this house, and we are just going to be making a custom sectional using the Dream Home Decorator pack. And so we are just going to be trying to like center things up, trying to orientate it in a way where it makes sense, trying to have space so you can get into the home office, or a skills room. And now we are just going to be adding a table into the entryway and going to be adding another table into the living room. I did design one of the rooms for a toddler, and so I felt like items in the side table could have been for a like diapers. It could be just like maybe like little toys in the red bins, and so we are just going to be adding a bookshelf in the area. And I do size down this picture. I feel like just the barns kind of gave off those like kind of like fun fall vibes, like. And so now we are just going to be going into the office kind of like hobby area, and I do use this bookshelf from the kids room stuff pack. I just felt like it kind of fit in that space a bit better than the bookshelves from the Dream Home Decorator pack. And now we are just going to be adding some more leaves. I was just using this curtains. I thought that would be kind of fun for the Sims to like see as they walk up to the. And now we are just going to be decorating this desk area, and I do add a chest table for some more skill building items, but I do get rid of that guitar. I thought maybe having an art easel would make more sense. You can just kind of get that money quick on the spot, and so we are just going to be adding some chairs. I do add a second bookshelf into that book nook built-in area, just so I don't know, the space behind the bookshelf is bothering me, and so a simple adding a bookshelf just kind of helped fill in that space. And now we are going to be making a custom gallery wall. I feel like this is just, these pictures are either things that maybe the artist has painted, or maybe just things they have collected over time. And so we are just going to be finishing up. All of these pictures are base game, so if you want to kind of replicate it, make it your own in your own game, you can do that totally. And so we are just going to be using these curtains from the City Living pack. I don't know why, I just felt like it looked kind of nice, kind of reminded me of like more like falling leaves and then changing colors. And now we are just going to be adding a little light and going to be adding some pictures just to make this space feel full and lived in. And now we are just going to be adding a front entryway rug and going to be adding a chair. And I feel like that chair blends in a little too much, but I was trying to go for a kind of a modern style. Like I was trying to incorporate some items of modern with the light oak floors and just kind of the light her woods, but I still wanted to have it be a craftsman style house. And so we are just going to be adding a light, going to be adding another picture. This is the same picture but in a different swatch into the dining room. And so we are just going to be cluttering this little table up. I feel like these Halloween cards is just really fun area, and I would put caution whenever your Sims are around these pictures because they do kind of change, and you will probably see what I mean at the end of the video during the screenshots, but like they just kind of change. And so we are now in the dining room. Maybe these Sims like hosting like a dinner, and then it's like, hey, let's go to the backyard and we can hang out there. And so I did want to have little leaves kind of be like a table runner, and I do like make it end to end. And this house is already posted on the Sims 4 gallery, so if you want to go play with it in on The Sims, it's already there. The information is down in the description. If you saw my last week's video and maybe read the description, you would know that my vampire mansion did not make it on the Sims 4 gallery. I'm honestly still not sure what happened to it, and so we are just going to be trying to find the best place for the dining room. I did want to use these chairs from the Cats and Dogs pack. I felt like it just kind of gave a more farmhouse feel, and now we are just going to be adding a little half bath onto the first floor. So there's a bathroom on the first and second floor. There's not a bathroom in the attic because it's the attic. And so we are just going to be adding a rug from the Jungle Adventure pack along with the 6 chairs on the sides. And I couldn't really figure out what to do with this extra space behind, and so I do end up adding a little kids table, and I felt like it was just a very cute idea to have a little kids table. But first we are going to be adding these curtains, and I changed them into a fun fall leaf color, and here's that table. This table is also from the Spooky pack, and I just thought it would be fun for the for a kids table. One of the inspirations for this house was my aunt's Halloween parties she used to do, and there's just be a lot of people everywhere, and so I wanted to kind of like make this house have the feel of like it's ready for a big party. Like this party wasn't like just for family, it was like people from church and people from like just the neighborhood, and family was included as well. We always sometimes went, and so we are now just going on to the back area, and I just wanted to make a little grill area. I do get rid of the pizza maker because I realized that was the only item I had from the new kitchen kit, and I just wasn't really feeling it for this house. You can obviously come back and add those items if you desire. If you want to download it, like I said, information is down in the description. But we are now on the second floor, which is the hallways, kind of making a little welcoming landing space, and going to be adding this picture for the third time in this house. I feel like this family has a very strong opinion on having these piece together pictures. And the first room we are working on is for a toddler. I was kind of thinking it's maybe for a sim that just became a toddler, so they still kind of have some baby items around. It's like a changing table, although I did not add a eating table or whatever that's called because I know they're annoying to play with, and so I didn't really want to add it. But I felt like having this cute little like growth chart that looked like little changing leaves was just really cute. And here's that changing table, and I do just add it in the same swatch as the bed. And so we are just going to be going downstairs and adding some board games. I felt like maybe that's what the adults would do while the children are on the playground equipment. And so we back upstairs. We are just going to be adding some items onto the walls. I pretty much have figured out like the furniture layout, but I really wanted to add these leaves stickers onto the wall. I just thought it looked really cute, like red and orange, and I just feel like it's really pretty. And so we are just going to be adding a little stuffed animal. This is from the cats and dogs pack. I always forget that like the cats and dogs came with like more blarfy like stuffed animals because I forget about it. It's like, okay, this is like a grandma with a cat. Like this isn't like a child. Why would the grandma want a giant stuffed animal thing? And so we are just going to be making up that room, finishing up, and going into the bathroom. And I do end up getting rid of this shower, which is a little bit inconvenient, but there is a shower in the primary bathroom. There is a toilet for the toddler sim. This room is just kind of best worked out as a line, and I would have done like my usual 2 by 3 room, but I wanted this room to be accessed through the hallway and not through the child's bedroom. And so we are just going to be adding some stickers and some pictures. I realized that there may be a little too much trees in the toddler's room, and so I do move this stickers with the squirrels and the orange and yellow leaves into the child's bedroom. But we are just going to finish up the hallway bathroom, and now we are in the child's room. I wasn't really thinking of like what exactly this room would be. I was just kind of more thinking like the sim loves the color red, and so there's a lot of different red items in this space. And so we are just going to be adding like a lunchbox, which is honestly kind of boring. It's beige, but I'm still excited about the new swatches we have in that pack, and I do realize I am missing a refrigerator, so I do add it into this space, and it's going to be adding a upper cabinet. But back to the child's room, I was more so imagining that this room would be for a girl, and then the tallest room could be either for a boy or a girl. I don't really know. You can decide that. But I wanted this area to just be kind of pretty, kind of very red inspired, really inspired by the red pops of color. And so we are just going to be adding this rug from the base game. It just reminded me of like the leaves changing colors, and it kind of goes with the bed spread. And so we are just going to be adding a dresser into the space, and I do add a violin so your sim can get. I think they both go with the creative skill for the sim children. And so we are just going to be finishing up this room, going to be adding this little bear on the end of the bed. And so it's really cute to have a little toddler, or not a little toddler, have just a little stuffed bear at the end with the other little items. And so we are just gonna be adding a little kitty, and I sized it down way too small, and I couldn't get it back to like a good size. And we are just going to be adding a little like art hanging thing for the Sim to hang up all their precious artwork. And we are just going to be adding a picture frame. And I think we might come back for like a split second into that room, but I did want to have a room, like a playroom for these Sims. And I was kind of mostly inspired by that giant teddy bear that looks like it's a skeleton. I I feel like having like a playroom would be necessary, and with like all these toys, it could also be like a teen's room or another nursery. But I wanted it to be a playroom just because I feel like I haven't done a playroom in a while, and I just kind of felt inspired to have a playroom in this space. And so I did want to have these ghost lamp. I actually have two. So there's like one looking out the window and one looking in the window. And so we are just going to be decorating these little cubbies. When I went to take a screenshot because I needed a break in between of recording and taking screenshots, some of these items did disappear. So if you are wondering why some items disappeared for you, that might be why. Or if you're wondering why some of these items are different than ones on the gallery, that is also why. I just couldn't remember what I put in this room. And I did find this little like fairy lights with like pictures, and I felt like that would be fun for the child Sim to have. And I found another little red trash can, and I wanted to add these butterfly like stickers or like wall decorations because there's the butterflies on the wallpaper, and so it just kind of looks like there's like kind of coming out of the wallpaper, and I thought that would be cool. And now we are just going to be filling up the different cubbies, and I mostly fill them up with books as you see, but they might be different on the gallery like I have said. And so I couldn't find like a good item, but I do end up having some more board games in that last cubby, and going to be adding a tablet for the toddler. I do usually also add blocks, but I just added a tablet for this house. Tablets for the toddlers do help with like all the skills, whereas the building blocks only work for just like a few like toddler skills if I'm remembering correctly. And so we are just going to be finishing up this space. I do decide that the child sim is obsessed with void critters and tries to put all these void critter stickers, and I do also have a void critter paddle station that came with the children's room stuff pack. I don't remember the full name, the actual name. And just going to be adding a little treasure chest set for the toys. I feel like this room turned out pretty well, and I hope you enjoyed it. I might just put this room as itself on the gallery, and so we are just going to be adding some more pictures into the hallway. And now we are in the primary bedroom, going to be using this bed from the Cats and Dogs pack along with the side tables. And I just wanted this room to feel very calming. It does kind of have like the same shade everywhere, but I just wanted it to be very simple, just to kind of have a simplistic feel. These are two busy parents. I was thinking maybe one of them would be a doctor, just because I'm using items from the get to work pack, and you can be a doctor in that pack, and there's just a lot of Halloween stuff that would cost a lot of money in real life. And so we are just going to be adding some lamps from the Get to Work pack along with this sunflower picture and these little plum bobs. And so we are just going to be adding a rug. And like I said, this room's very much one color, but I felt like it kind of helped go with a simple, calming feel. And so we are just going to be adding this little kind of walk-in closet almost. It's kind of like an open closet, but it is in like its own room. I just felt like it would be kind of like a fun thing, and I don't usually do things like that, and so I just wanted to do it here. And I do add a bathtub for the toddler because they need it, and but they only always need it once they become a child. They can shower and they don't need a tub. So it's mostly like for the parents, but they also want to make sure their child's clean. And so there's like, hey, we don't trust you. You're younger enough that you can't bathe yourself. So come into our bathroom. We can bathe you. So we can bathe you. And now we are just going to be adding a little toiletry tower, but I felt like the one from Parenthood was too big, and so I do end up using the one from the base game, and I do make this part of the chimney into a little closed-in water closet. And now we are just going to be adding a smaller one. I feel like I just felt this space, it's kind of tight, and so having a smaller item with like the same purpose I felt was a better use of the space. And we are just going to be finishing up the private toilet room or the water closet, and it's going to be adding some towels and going to be liking these curtains way too much, and so I get rid of the ones in the playroom and add those ones instead. And so we are just going to be adding some decorations on to the closet area. I just added some shoes. I purposely make the clothing in like a red and orange swatch to kind of like represent the changing colors of the leaves. And we are just going to be finishing up the parents area, the primary suite area, and going to be going into the attic space. And I add some fun things up here. I feel like I don't usually do attics in game, and so I just want to add some like skeletons, and going to be adding some like different like cabinets, like filing cabinets. The Get to Work pack comes with a lot of like not residential items, a lot of like businessy items, and so I felt like, oh, like I was trying to make items work still. And so I did think of having the child join the scouts, but I realized there wasn't enough space for the scouts board, and so I do just end up getting rid of that. But back to the attic, I wanted this space just to feel like there's items that you don't always need on your Christmas tree, but I feel like the skeletons could just be some extra Halloween decoration. And I just wanted this area to feel cluttered, and you can add a ladder if you want to into the space. Maybe have this be like a teens area. You would have to get rid of a lot of items, but I just wanted this space to feel very cluttered. And so we are getting close to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. That would mean so much to me, and I hope to see you all next week for another SimSmart video. If you want to play in this house, you can find it on the Sims 4 gallery. My ID is green_rose_sims, and I hope to see you all next week for another Sims 4 video.